Welcome back. It is December 2nd, the first week of December, and that means that it is the month of High Limit International at the Perth Motorplex in Kwinana Beach, Western Australia. It is going to be a huge event, the biggest event in Australian sprint car racing history. Last year's race was already that, but they're going to up the ante this year to $110,000 to win. Australian, of course, that equals out to, I want to say, 71 or 72,000 American dollars. And there is going to be a ton of cars for this race, 40 plus cars, I think, expected. And so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I've got my JD DAC t-shirt on here. I've got my Perth Motorplex hat on. I'm in the spirit. I'm in the High Limit International spirit right now, getting ready to go down there, getting all my notes ready and whatnot. And so I've been doing a lot of research, trying to figure out who's going to be there, who's not, what car they're going to be in. It is going to be fun. And I want to make this video not just for the Australians that watch this channel, but for the Americans as well. I'm telling you guys, I know it's a pain in the butt to watch this race, having to wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. I'm sure many of you are like me, staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, watching YouTube or watching NHL. That's what I do every single night. And so it might be tough to wake up, but I'm telling you guys, it is worth it. It's not like these American guys are coming in there and just smoking the field. These guys over here are very good at their respective racetrack, and it is going to be a whole lot of fun for a big 3-day extravaganza. Also, before I start, I want to say thank you to Sean Caron at Gold Star Transportation. He is the guy that bought all of the magnets on this board to make this video and future videos possible, talking about High Limit International. So Sean, I'm sure you're watching this. Thank you for your support of the channel. And let's just say this video is sponsored by Gold Star Transportation, and let's get into it. So the American drivers are over here, and the Plex Posse, along with some East Coast drivers down here on the bottom. And so for the Americans, we're going to start things off with a driver that was injured last year for this race, and that, of course, was Rico Abreu. He will be driving his own number 24 car, and that is a big deal because most of the guys, if not all of the guys on this board here, are going to be driving foreign equipment that they are not used to running. Maybe they run it in the Australian season, but throughout the year they're in different cars, of course. For Rico, it is going to be stuff that he's had over there for years, and he'll have his own crew going down there and whatnot. So Rico going to be dangerous down at Perth Motorplex, a place that he has won at in the past before. And so really excited to see him down there as the defending High Limit champion and going down there for the first time for High Limit International. Rico is going to be fun to watch in the number 24 car. And joining Rico down under is going to be a driver making his Perth Motorplex debut. And of course, he just came off of an absolutely monumental season here in America with the Outlaws. Driving the Pigden race team number 7 is going to be Michael Buddy Kofoid. And Kofoid, of course, like I said, the winningest driver in earnings this year in America. He is going to be fun to watch. He'll also have his crew chief, Dylan Buswell, with him working on this race car. So some familiar faces in the pit area, although not a familiar racetrack, going to be his debut at Perth. But we know Buddy's one of the best in the country. He will figure it out quickly. That car last year was driven by Cole Macedo. He led laps on a prelim night. It is a very potent race car, and so Buddy is in good hands for this event. Number 3 on the list for the Americans, a familiar number, a different team. For the semi-retired Brad Sweet in the Landrigan Motorsports number 49, a car that he has gone down and raced for the last couple of years whenever he goes to Australia. This is the car that he runs, so it's familiar equipment for Brad Sweet. I'm not sure who's working on the car, but Brad Sweet, like he is in America, is going to be a top 5 contender every single night. I don't care if he's half retired. He is still going to be a guy to watch for when it comes to this huge event. He's won at Perth Motorplex several times, and it'll be fun to watch him, as a, I guess, retired driver coming back out of retirement to run this race, whatever you want to say. Brad Sweet in the number 49 car. 4th on the list, the S&D Motorsport number 95. That is, of course, Brock Zierfoss, and that's the car that Sean Caron owns, the guy that bought the magnets for this video. Zierfoss, much like Sweet, has been driving this car the last couple of years when he goes to Australia. Great equipment down there. Zierfoss, along with one other, is already down there running. I want to say he's racing this weekend coming up, and so he will have a couple extra laps compared to the rest of the guys on the board here for the American side of things, and we'll see if that plays into the hand of Brock Zierfoss in that Gold Star Transportation number 95 car. Now, another driver that's going down there that was injured last year was supposed to run High Limit International, but he did break his leg before he was able to get there. In the J&S Racing W60, that is going to be Carson Macedo. So we've got second and third in both. We've got second and third in the Outlaw points from this year, and we've got first, second, and third from the High Limit Racing point standings as well. So Carson Macedo, the W60, that car last year was driven by Caden Manders. He's got a couple of wins at Perth Motorplex before, and so this is obviously good equipment. Carson Macedo, a top 5 driver in America. He is going to be fun to watch. I want to say he's ran once or twice at Perth before, a couple years back. But yeah, the W60, we'll see how Macedo does. It is going to be foreign equipment, so we'll see if he's able to, get acclimated to that car. And he'll have 3 days to do it, obviously, and so maybe by the third night he'll have things figured out. And so Carson Macedo will be great to have him down there as a contender for a $110,000 payout. Now, number 6 on the list here for the Americans, and making his Perth Motorplex debut, is going to be Corey Day in the Williamson Motorsport number 3, a teammate to Callum Williamson. And that, if you're not familiar, is one of the best cars in Western Australia. Callum Williamson, one of the winningest drivers in Perth Motorplex history. And so for Corey Day to get in a second car for him is going to be extremely dangerous. He's along the same lines as Kofoid. It's his first time to Perth Motorplex, but he's freaking Corey Day. And this place gets up on the wall, banging off the cushion. That is exactly what Corey Day is hoping for. And I think that this is going to be a very, very potent combination. No idea who is working on it, but if it's the same guy working on Callum Williamson's car, Corey Day is going to be just fine. He seems to adapt to things very, very quickly. And so really, really great addition to this field for 2025. Now, moving down one spot to the 41W. It is the Keens race team, number 41. That will be driven by Xavier Doney out of Missouri. Of course, ran full-time this year with Power Eye. Got a couple of wins, ran well a couple of times with High Limit Racing as well. It'll be his first time down to Australia, first time in this car. It's a car that is a Schnee Lawson chassis, which Doney's family is heavily involved in. And so, things just worked out to where he's getting into that car. It is normally driven by Michael Keane, who runs full-time at Perth Motorplex. But I believe Keane is getting out of the car to put Xavier Doney in it. And so we'll see how things go. Doney has shown some really good speed here in America, but a brand new team for him to race against and a brand new track to race on. We'll see how quickly he can adapt to some new surroundings going down there to Perth Motorplex. Also, another Pennsylvania driver that'll be down there. He was at this race last year as well. It is the RBH Racing 21W of Justin Whittle. And Whittle, much like Zierfoss, is already going down there. I think he's going to be there this weekend racing. So he'll have a couple extra laps compared to the rest of these guys. And so Whittle was very good at this race last year. I think he made all 3 main events, was running up front in one of them. And so this is a good car. RBH really, really likes Whittle. They were on his 67 car here in America all year as a sponsorship. And so he'll have a busy schedule down there this year, including High Limit International. And he got around Perth good. I mean, Perth is nothing like Williams Grove or Port Royal or anything like that. And Justin Whittle was extremely fast. We'll see if that speed continues on when the big dogs show up there in December. Also on this list, another guy that we are just super excited to have down there in a very, very good race car, of course, is going to be Aaron Reitzel in the Monty Motorsports number 17. That was a car that was driven the last couple of years by Corey Eliason. Those two not together anymore. And so they call up Aaron Reitzel, who just had a fantastic season, almost won the High Limit Championship. It'll be his Perth debut, but this car, boy, does it have some serious laps around that area. And so I think that this could be another really good combo, much like the Corey Day combo with Callum Williamson. Aaron Reitzel and Monty Motorsports could be very deadly. 2 more Americans to talk about. We've got the Highline Motorsport number 40. That is going to be Cole Macedo. So Cole Macedo was supposed to run this car again this year that he ran last season, but things went sideways. He figured out another new deal with Highline Motorsport. Not exactly sure what kind of equipment that's going to be, but Cole Macedo, I don't think he would have taken the deal if he didn't think it was going to be good equipment. So he had a very good High Limit International last year, and we'll see if he can keep up that speed in a new race car this year. He'll be a teammate to Cody Clayton, who we'll talk about more here in just a few moments. But Cole Macedo, another full-time outlaw, going to be joining the fray down there in Western Australia here in just a few weeks' time. And the final driver on the list is the defending winner of the race, the Jason Pride Motorsports number 1K. Kyle Larson, of course, will be returning to Perth Motorplex. He was leading night 2, got into the wall and wrecked. And then night 3, he had a great battle with McFadden, ended up taking the big victory. And so obviously very good equipment. I think that I'm guessing he'll have Trevor Canales coming down to work on the car again. And then he'll have all of Jason Pride's guys there to help him out as well. Of course, Kyle Larson could get in a wheelbarrow and somehow be contending for the win. And so that is a really, really strong list of American drivers right there. The top 3 in high limit points, 2nd and 3rd in outlaw points. Kyle Larson's in there. You got one of the best guys in PA with Zierfoss and Whittall and Corey Day, of course. It's going to be a very, very good field of American drivers. And now let's talk about the Plex Posse. Sorry about all the pauses. I'm still trying to get over this cold. I'm coughing left and right, but over to the Plex Posse here. And I've got this kind of tiered out a little bit here. These first 3 guys, it's weird how they're 1, 2, and 3, but they are going to be in the top 5, 2 out of the 3 nights, maybe all 3. They are the guys to beat when it comes to Perth Motorplex. Of course, we're talking about James McFadden, who nearly swept the entire weekend last year. He is the A1, the Australian champion. That's why he is the number 1 with the new Napa Auto Parts sponsor on the car. Car looks good. McFadden is going to be the guy to probably beat when it comes to the Australians, but also you cannot count out the number 2, the Cricky Motorsports number 2 of Dane Kingshot, who has won 2 of the 3 races there this year. He is a defending champion with the Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series as well. He is very, very good. That car is extremely good. And so Kingshot, and then of course, Callum Williamson, the number 3 car, teammate to Corey Day. He won the other race that I think they've had 3 races down there so far this year. Kingshot won 2 and Callum won 1. If I'm not missing, maybe I'm missing one, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then McFadden, of course, he's just McFadden. He is going to be very tough to beat. Now, I mentioned those guys will be in the top 5 at least 2 times, I think, throughout the week. These guys right here, I think, could be in the top 10 2 of the 3 nights. The 71 Caden Manders, I mentioned him earlier, a graduate of the speed cars or the midgets down there. He ran this car last year. This is the car that Giovanni Scelzi ran last season. And Manders has already had a couple of solid runs this season. Keep an eye on the 71. You've got Daniel Harding, which is a name maybe some people are familiar with in America. Ran a lot of midget stuff as well, similar to Manders, but does have some really good runs down there at Perth as well. He'll be in the 18W or the W18. And then the 25W, that is Taylor Milling from Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. He will be a strong contender as well. I think he'll be in the top 10 a couple of times. And the number 5 of James Inglis is another guy that is going to be, kind of in that top 10 mix, in my opinion. And so those are kind of the top, I would say, 7 guys that run Perth and run that that Maddington Toyota Sprint Car Series. And then down here are a couple of more guys that I could see in the top 10, maybe once out of the 3 nights. Andrew Priolo in the number 8 car, the 24 of Jack Williamson, not related to Callum Williamson. The 44 of Ryan Lancaster was fast every night last year, but I swear it was like he had a black cloud flying above him. He was getting in every single wreck, but he had speed. Brad Mayolo in the 77, he is very good. Chris Coyle in the 79, not only is he fast, but he is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And then Jason Kendrick, who is like one of the winningest drivers in the history of Perth Motorplex, he'll be in the number 11 or W11. Great looking paint scheme on that car. You cannot miss Jason Kendrick on the racetrack. And so, like I said, you got these guys right here. I think top 5 almost every single night. These guys right here, almost top 10 every night. These guys right here, if they finish top 10 at least once or twice, I would not be surprised. And the rest of these guys, they're, a couple of them are very new to sprint car racing down there in Australia. And a couple of them are, just trying to figure things out. The 13 of Miles Bolger is another guy. The 45 of Cherky, Aaron Cherkop, great nickname there. JD Dack, I've got his t-shirt on right here. He was 67 last year. He's 22X this season. Craig Bottrell in the 4. Jason Pride, who is the team owner of Kyle Larson's car in the 14. Chad Pittard, the 92WX. And then a couple of guys right here, kind of like new. From what I can find on Facebook, it's maybe like their first year of 410 sprint car racing. The 40 of Cody Clayton, a teammate to Cole Macedo. The 74 of Mikey Green, and the 65 of Harrison Pete. Those will be guys that are very new to sprint car racing that will be taking on the High Limit International. Also, I want to mention this. The drivers that have green dots next to their name on this list here, they made the feature last year for High Limit International on Saturday. So McFadden, Kingshot, Williamson, Manders, Harding, Milling, Inglis, all these guys right here, these first three rows all made the show last year. Aaron Cherkop also made the show last year. And then these guys will be making their High Limit International debuts. Bottrell, Pride, Pittard, Pete, Green, and the 40 of Clayton all making their High Limit International debuts. And then some of the guys from the East Coast to watch for as well. Of course, a lot of Americans know about Jock Goodyear. He came over last year and ran a ton of high limit and outlaw stuff on the West Coast. The T22, he'll be fun to watch. Kerry Madsen in the Diamond Bay Motorsports 26, he is going to be very fast as well. A lot of Americans know him, of course. And the 65, a long-time Australian sprint car racer, the Q65 from Queensland. That's Luke Oldfield. And so Oldfield was fast last year. He made the show at High Limit International, and he'll be coming over from the East Coast to race as a teammate to Harrison Pete in those 65 cars. Two guys I'm also curious about. Matt Eagle in the 52, who was incredible. I never heard of this guy until last year. He was very, very good on the front row of the feature on Saturday, I think. And then Ryan Newton, who ran last year as well in the 66 car, and he was very good in America this year. So maybe he could put something together and run High Limit International as well. Have not seen those two guys put out a schedule or say they're coming, and so those are two that are up in the air, but they were there last year. So we'll have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts. Are you guys excited for High Limit International? Do you think the Plex Posse can get the win? Do you think the Americans can get the win? Maybe the East Coast guys can sneak out a win? We'll have to wait and see how it all goes. But wanted to make this video, just getting kind of hyped up for Perth Motorplex. Cannot wait to get back down there. And once again, thanks to Sean Karen at Gold Star Transportation for all of these magnets. We'll be making more videos about High Limit International coming up here very, very soon. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you again here soon.